I grew up in Texas, and I never really put that much effort into trying to figure out what I identified as. I've always considered myself as a Mexican American or Latino. I always thought of it as the same thing. And I just genuinely felt that most Hispanics felt this way as well. So I went out to the Houston area and Lake Jackson area to see if anyone knew the difference between a Latino and Hispanic. And a lot of people didn't. What's the difference between Latino or Latina and Hispanic?
I would say Hispanic is mostly from Mexico and Latino is just abroad, any from anywhere.
Okay. Like Latin America or
yes,
something?
like Colombia and Honduras, like any of them.
Okay, why do you think that?
I don't know, that's what I think.
Okay. What's the difference between Latino and Hispanic?
I think that Hispanic is when your parents are from Mexico and you're born here. And Latin America expands a little bit further than that, like not just Mexican, but also like Salvadorian, Honduran, I think.
Do you know the difference between Latino and Hispanic?
No.
If you had to take a guess, what would it be?
I mean, both of our cultures are the same thing, so I wouldn't think anything unless like you're from different areas and you do different things, but I wouldn't think it's too different.
What's the difference between a Latino and a Hispanic?
Well, for me, the difference, a Latino is someone that's like, I'd say like Central America. I guess you could like Colombians or Puerto Ricans, stuff like that. And Hispanics to me is like a Chicano, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like somebody from Mexican descent, basically.
Do you know the difference between Latino and Hispanic?
I mean, from what my parents told me, Hispanics, like what we are, is people who like were born in America, but we come from like our ancestors are Mexicans and stuff like that. But we're born in the U.S., so we're not Mexicans, but we're Hispanics. And then Latinos are more of like from like Latin America or something like that.
Yeah. All right. What's the difference between a Latino and Hispanic?
I don't know. That's kind of like a trick question.
If you had to guess, where would you think a Latino came from? Where would Hispanic come from?
Hispanic from Mexico. Latino, dang, I don't know.
Why do you think Hispanic from Mexico?
It's just off the back when you hear Hispanic, you automatically think Mexico, you know?
Okay.
But that's a quick, like, trick question. I can't really answer it. I don't know.
What do you think the definition or the differences between Latino and Hispanic?
I think the difference is Hispanics are from like Mexico and stuff, and Latino and Latina are from like Venezuela and all the other ones.
Okay.
Kind of.
What do you think of the differences between Latino and Hispanic?
I don't.
Have you ever thought about that?
I'm not sure between Latino and Hispanic. I don't think there's really a different. I mean, I don't think there's a difference.
What is your definition between of Latino and Hispanic?
Like, I don't know, I guess just your culture and stuff like that, you know, if your parents are Mexican or whatever.
Where do you think Latinos are from, and where do you think Hispanics are from?
Isn't it like Spain and Mexico?
Which ones?
I want to say Latina and Hispanic. I don't know. I couldn't be too sure. Like, I don't want to put a label on it, I guess.
What's the difference between a Latina and a Hispanic, or Latino and Hispanic?
Well, to me, there's basically, well, in my side, there's no difference. I mean, because a Latino and Hispanic, well, a Latino basically speaks more Spanish than anything else, and a Hispanic, I guess, they speak both language.
I've never put that much effort into thinking, like, what do I identify as? Like, what am I? I always just considered myself Mexican American, but it's the media and the extreme progressive left I feel like they're obsessed with identifying people. Now, let me qualify that statement because I said extreme progressive left. A lot of people are automatically going to assume that I'm a just hardcore right-wing Donald Trump person, and I'm not. I just think that it's very odd that one side of the spectrum wants to make these labels for people, and I for the vast majority of Hispanics, don't care about these labels.